Okay, guys, it's Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. We're going to go ahead and jump into lesson 10. Um, it's analyzing graphs, so we're going to be looking at a lot of different things here and seeing what's all involved with these things and just kind of review a lot of what I've taught. So today's kind of a first day of a review, but still we're going to be introducing some new material. Data can be displayed, okay, in various graphs. All right, so here we have a histogram. Here's our chunks. Here's our X. Here's our Y. All right, would you consider this skewed or symmetrical? Well, clearly those two sides look to be symmetrical, right? So yeah, I would absolutely do that. All right, would the mean or the median be the best measure of center? Okay, so this is one thing that we kind of need to talk about here. Okay, since it's symmetrical, since we have a nice layout of data, we can clearly see that the information is clustered from 40 to 64. So we don't really have an outlier, all right? So when we don't have an outlier, remember I mentioned to you, we want to use the mean. The mean would be the best representation, all right? So if we use the mean, we use the MAD to describe the spread of the data or the variability. So the mean goes with the MAD. Now, let's pause for a second. If we did have an outlier, if we were going to use the median, all right, then we would use the IQR to describe the variability. So those two are brother and sister. They are siblings. Mean goes with MAD, right? Median goes with IQR, okay? And those are just things that we need to kind of keep fresh on our brain. Determine if the following statements are true or false, excuse me, using the graph. All right, so 19 students were measured and recorded. 19 students. So let's count here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 4. Here it looks like 7. This looks like 5. This looks like what? 2. So 11, what? 16, 17. Yep, that's true. Right? More than 90% of the class is 45 inches tall. Not 45 inches tall, more than 90%. So here's 45. So all of that. So 18 out of 19. And if we took that and we wanted to change 18 out of 19 to a percent, remember, just did that. Look what happens. 94% is, yep. So that is true. The mean of the data will fall between 50 and 54. Kind of hard to tell, right? Because we don't have all specific data. But if I were to guess, I would say since it's symmetrical and we're using the mean to describe it up here, I would say, yeah, I would say that is true as well. Okay. Lastly, there are more students who are 45 to 49 inches tall than 55 to 60. 45 to 49 than 55 to 60. That is false. Write 3 statements about the graph below, 2 that are true and 1 that is false. Okay. All right. 2 that are true. The data is symmetrical. Another true statement. The smallest piece is 40 to 44. A false statement. A false statement. 50 through 54 is smaller than 60 through 64. And yours could vary. You could come up with whatever you want. Okay. All right, we're rolling right along. Next one is the dot plot. We're analyzing the dot plot. Is the dot plot, would you consider this skewed or symmetrical? Well, I wouldn't consider it skewed for sure. But let's kind of take a look here and see if, if we drew this kind of right in here, does this kind of look like this? I would say it's more symmetrical than skewed. I would say neither, but if I have to choose between the two, I'm going with symmetrical there. Would the mean or the median be the best representation? We just talked about this a second ago. If we consider it symmetrical, then we're certainly going to use the mean as a measure of center, right? And then if we're using the mean to describe the spread or the variability of the data, we would use the MAD. Remember, they are linked. The mean and the MAD's linked. The median and the IQR is linked. Okay. What statistical question could be answered with this data, with the number of pets? A survey of 15 households is conducted to determine the number of pets in each household. The dot below shows the data. So number of one household, or number of pets had one is one. Number of pets had two is four. Number of three, and so on down the line. So what statistical question could be answered from this data? How many pets? Remember, we need to have more than one answer to this. How many pets are owned by the household on my street? Then we probably have to put a question mark there. So how many pets are owned by households on my street? So that's certainly more than one answer to all that. That's a statistical question. Okay, here we go. Now, what is the most common number of pets? Certainly it's 2 pets. Find the mean number of pets and round your answer to the nearest tenth. Okay. So let's add them up. When we add all these up, just to save time, we know that we had to have 2 zeros, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. So when we add all of those up, the sum is 42. And what we're going to take 42, and we're going to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 42 divided by 15. And let's do that together. And we get 2 8/10. No need to round. It is stopping at the tenths place. So the average is 2 8/10. Yep, and that fits right about here, which is nicely into the data. Find the MAD. Okay, no problem. Let's go. They've already set it up for us. So let's go 2 8/10, 2.8, right? 1.8. We can do some of this mentally, can't we? 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8. Now, when you get a little confusing, when you get above, sometimes even I need to do this. 3 minus 2.8 is 0.2, right? 0.2, 0.2. And then we go 3 minus what? I'm sorry, not 3. Let's go 4 minus 2.8 is 1.2. 1.2. And then 5 minus 2.8 is 2.2. 2.2. 2.2. Okay. Now I'm very carefully going to add these up, right? So I have 3 2.2s. I have 2 1.2s. I have 3.2s. I have 4.8s. I have 1.8. I have a 2.8. 2.8. And that sum is 20 and 2/10. And I'm going to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to divide that by 15. And we probably should round that, right? We probably should round that to the nearest tenth. 1 and 3/10, and I'll put an approximation. So the average distance these numbers are from the mean is 1 and 3/10. Okay, just a good real review today. Let's keep rolling and see what else is in here, and that's it. So, nice quick little video. Something to remember is when you talk about the mean, we use the MAD for variability. If we were to use the median, because there's an outlier, we use the IQR. Anyway, the homework is in the packet. It's pretty cut and dry. Got a frequency table. We're going to do a graph. We're going to answer some questions about it. So not a lot. We're going to start to review tomorrow. All right, guys, have a good day.